Welcome to Jude, the podcast. I'm David Jude. I'm your host, as always. Thank you for being with us and listening and all the things to go with it. With me, as always, is my beautiful better half, Miss Stacy. How are you?
I'm good. Trying to stay warm out there.
Trying to stay warm. So we're recording this episode during the what was supposed to be Snowmageddon here at home. It didn't quite snow as much as that, but we do have a lot of ice.
Ice, baby.
Yeah, we do have ice, baby. So, yeah, we do have that part going on. Yeah. So we thought we would come on and just talk for a little bit and tell you about some things that we have coming up and just spend some time with you. We have time on this day, so it's good to be here. So it's really your idea. So thanks for putting this together.
No problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So we thought, here's something that we've been trying to do. We thought, we should do an introductory episode about our thoughts and our plans. Stacy and I came up with this idea to try to meet with the candidates and talk with the candidates, our local candidates, our Bourbon County candidates, and get to know them a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And so we have done 3 or 4 things already to get us started with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Want me to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, jump in there.
Okay. So for me, I'm just kind of tired of the political climate right now. And for those that know me, and I tend to be pretty opinionated, but I've just kind of gotten tired of all the bullet points or speaking points that everybody needs to make, to say. And so for us, I'm interested in what the candidates have to say. I don't want to hear what their party thinks that they need to say or that think that we want to hear. I want to know how they're going to make Bourbon County better. I want to know what their plans are for growth or no growth. Like, I just want to know what their thoughts are on those topics of some of the things that apply to us. And that's what I've kind of found is everything seems so politicized and it's so extreme now that if you're on one side or the other or independent or whatever, it's very hostile. And I'm sick of it. I'll be honest with you. I'm just sick. Yeah. I'm completely sick of it. So I thought, well, there's a lot of people that are running for lots of offices in Bourbon County, and where Dave and I have had the year from hell, we've kind of been removed from a lot of things and very distracted with other personal stuff going on. So I really don't know a lot of these candidates that are running, and I just kind of wanted to meet them and just see what their thoughts are, what their platforms are, what their visions are, what obstacles they think they're going to have to overcome. And that's where it got started. So we decided to put out a survey of just hot topics, interested things. One, you have to be a registered voter in order to take the survey, of course, a registered voter in Bourbon County. It's a super short survey. During these episodes, we are not endorsing anyone, any particular party, anything like that. We just want to get to know what they have to say. So we've sent out the survey. We're going to let it ride for another week or so, and then we're probably going to post the results to our website the week of February 15th. So the candidates that have agreed to come on the show and talk about their platform will have the ability to see what our registered voters in Bourbon County, what their concerns are, because there are areas. It's a really quick survey, yes, no kind of questions. And if you don't agree with something, you even have a spot to ask your question or say why you don't agree with something or you do agree with something. And we're getting really good responses. It's kind of all over the place. But one thing that's really interesting is a lot of us share all the same worries and concerns. So regardless of your party, we're sharing the same concerns for our county. And that's what it's about. It's just trying to figure out who you most align with for your choices. And that's essentially it. That was the idea.
Yeah. I always say, I think we're bound more by what we share than what separates us. And so, to your comments of the political climate, it is like supercharged at the moment. And I guess it always has been, but it not quite like what we're experiencing now. And it's difficult, because to me, it just feels like you can't really have much of a conversation anymore because of the supercharged environment. Mm-hmm. And I always look at it, there's so many more things that bring us together than a political party than what divides us. And, we should spend some time talking about those things, I think.
Right.
And then to your point for the survey, what we've done is we've tried to put together a list of questions. And let me say this up front too. The survey is not collecting your personal information. So we specifically have worked to not collect anyone's personal identifiers.
No IP addresses. That's way over our head.
The goal is to be as anonymous as we possibly can, because we genuinely wanted your feedback, and we thought this is our way of being able to be involved, to bring a list of questions to Paris and Bourbon County, and hopefully get as many voters as we can to respond to the survey and give as much data as we can. I think our stats are saying it takes somewhere, 12, 13 minutes or something like that to complete. That's if you choose to put comments. So as Stacy was saying, you can roll through the survey pretty fast.
Yeah, I didn't have any comments. So I literally took it in like 5.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was done. So
I think the average is coming in like 12 and a half or 13 minutes, which is, I like that because to share with you all what that means is those who have taken the survey so far are taking time to put comments in there. So there may be a question about business, and you can answer the question, but then it also allows you to put whatever comments that you want in there. And so we wanted not just to have the yes or no questions or the fill in the blank, the choose an option, but to have you be able to put your thoughts on there.
Yeah.
And then you touched too on the very last question. I think it's the last question is...
Let me scroll here.
Yeah.
Let me see.
What questions would you ask the candidates?
Sure. Yeah. There's a lot in here on where you get your information from. I'll find that, like we were talking about, where I'm sick of everything. It took me a while. You turned out off the media a long time ago. And it took me a really long time to just turn off the TV anymore because it's just, who knows what's going on. It's just so skewed. So there's a question actually on the survey of where you get your information from. And I think it's extremely helpful for social media versus podcasts versus the newspaper or internet, that your candidates will know this is where the majority of people are getting their information. And so, the common denominator is a lot about transparency with our officials. And, you can't just be fed what you think they need to feed you. You have to do some research on your own and have accountability to go find a true news source to find out, attend the meetings or attend whatever the releases are to where you see what's kind of going on. And so it's easy to complain that you don't know what's going on, but you also have to be actively involved and search for it. So, but yeah, I think the very last question on there, let's scroll all the way down here. Sorry, taking a little bit of time. One of the last questions was, the results of the survey will be used, but what would you ask the candidate? It'll be publicly released if given an opportunity. What question, would you want them to answer? And so this is not meant to trip anybody up. This is not a aha, gotcha moment. This is what it is. It's public knowledge. Hopefully the candidates will kind of read what the concerns are of the county and be somewhat prepared, but like we're not in this for anything that's malicious or any malintent at all. It's just to get to know people because I really don't know a lot of these people that are running at all.
So that's a good point. And one of the reasons we thought that this episode is important, I feel like maybe some candidates are fearful of that aha gotcha moment, or
sure,
oh my gosh, David and Stacy going to bring us in here and try to trip us up or something. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just my thoughts. But the honest answer is no, that's not true at all. We want to have an open conversation. We think it's important. We have not seen this done locally before. And it just allows each candidate to come in individually and to share what their thoughts and visions are. So there's no tricks behind it. Now, there may be some challenging questions. There may be some tough questions. I think that's important, but we're not looking for we're not trying to trip anybody up or to, create a gotcha moment. Not at all. Which is why that survey is important, because there are some good questions in that survey that will be asked of certain candidates. I don't want to say too much because I want the survey to work its magic. Yeah. And so will they be challenging? Certainly they will be, but it's not designed to be difficult for anyone.
And you have the opportunity to see them posted before you sit down and talk with us. So it's not like anything, And
of course, take the survey.
That's right. We hope to take the survey.
Yeah. We hope the candidates will take the survey. We hope everybody will take the survey. So since we've been talking about it, where do we find the survey?
Okay. So we have shared on social media, and the DPJ Consulting page has shared the survey link as well. But the link is actually D as in David, P as in Paul, J as in Jude, dpjconsulting.com/P as in Paul, B as in boy, C-voter-survey. But if you just go to our webpage, click under more, you'll see Paris Bourbon County survey. Click it.
Yeah.
Or find us on our page, and as soon as you click what we've shared publicly on the link, it takes you straight to it to where you can bypass everything.
Yeah, and it'll be in the show notes for this episode too. We'll put the link there. And
our website is dpjconsulting.com. It explains a little bit about what all we do. And for those that have never heard what we do, David does investigations. He works a lot with attorneys and investigations. It's not just strictly the cheating spouse kind of guy. I do legal nurse consulting, and I work with a lot of attorneys on medical malpractice as well as criminal defense.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
So there's a lot that you can surf around on our webpage and just figure out who we are, and in case you ever need help regarding like backgrounds, anything like that. So
so we wanted the company, and we've done some surveys before for some clients, and so we wanted to continue that for us because it's interesting, and we enjoyed that particular work.
It was really fun.
It was fun, yeah. I think each of us in our company are kind of data nerds, for lack of a better term for it.
My background was in quality, so I always kept a dashboard and statistics. So
so we enjoy things like the surveys. But again, it's a way for us to collect the data. It's a way for us to share it with our own community, and it's a way for us to be involved. And then we'll move into some of the candidates here in a second. But it's a way for us to really just get more information about who the candidates are.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we got going, we had sent out the survey, and then I communicated with all of the candidates that I had an email address for. I got that off the website at the county clerk's office. I am missing a few people. I've tried to reach out on Messenger and Facebook and whatnot to try to track them down, because we want everybody to be offered the opportunity to come and speak with us. We'll tell you a little bit about that. It's we're doing it for free. You come in, you're going to do your platform. You get your time to do your opening and closing. We'll just have a few, conversation. We're going to allow up to an hour of your time. You don't have to talk that long. If it takes you 10 minutes to get out what you got to say, that's great. We can roll on. But we just want everybody to have their fair opportunity to come on and talk. We're obviously going to go for candidates that have challengers. If you're unopposed, I've already had one reach back to me that there's no point because they're unopposed, and that's wonderful. We just want you to know that's what we're here for, so that you can get your word out. And before we get going with that, we've already had a few people actually email me and was like, "When can I come?" And I really want them to see the results of the survey first, so that gives them substance. They're prepared, and they feel like they are ready to go. But we're going to try to bring in some officials that are leaving office, that are not running for reelection in that particular position, and let them kind of give their accomplishments. What's their legacy when they came in? What were their challenges? What has happened since then? It's very easy for people to complain that they don't know what's going on when that's a nuts and bolts. Hey, come in and tell us what all you did while you were in office. That's wonderful. That's a wonderful way to exit to where the new candidates coming on kind of understand that maybe the vision or when they're passing the torch, what needs to be worked on, or if they want to completely change it altogether.
And that idea wasn't part of our original plan.
No.
I'll share this with you. I don't want to give out the results that we've gotten so far in the survey, but I think that idea was in part born because of some of the questions of the survey talk about people being informed or not.
Yes.
And we were kind of shocked at the answers to, do our voters feel informed on certain issues? And I'll give you credit there to say we should have some of the outgoing people who are not running come in and do an episode or two to talk about what they've done. Again, just kind of a way to
simmer the crowd down.
Yeah, but let the voters know this is what the ideas have been. So you're thinking about hiring a private investigator, huh? Think knowledge, experience, and trust. Think DPJ Consulting. Listen, we're the folks you want on your team. Whether it's a criminal matter, corporate, or administrative issue, or maybe something more personal, you need to make the right choice for you. Our house of expertise at DPJ Consulting can help you with investigations, and that can mean a whole lot of different things. Pre-employment background checks, personal VIP security, and so much more. Check us out at dpjconsulting.com. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, or give us a call at 855-TEAM-DPJ. That's 855-TEAM-DPJ. Give us a call. It costs nothing to talk. It costs you everything if we don't.
I think it's a challenge when you're not informed and you can't attend the meetings because they're held through the week, and people work. So it's sometimes very hard to either log on. I think that, the city's done a great job of making things live. Sometimes you can't hear, but, making things live to where you can feel informed. But like I said, that's a double, a two-way street.
Sword.
You have to, you have to take initiative. People aren't just going to spoon feed you. They can, and that may be why the political climate is so charged right now, is because they're spoon feeding you what they want you to know, kind of thing. And so it's just frustrating. Just take some initiative, do some investigating on your own, read the bills yourself, or read the ordinances, and
or listen to this podcast after we have the episodes come on. That's right. So let's talk about what the plan for the episodes are. We're trying to be coordinated, and we're trying, as Stacy said earlier, we're not endorsing anybody through this series of episodes. We're not being paid by anybody to do this work. We're completely donating our time and resources. This is just something that we wanted to do to get involved, but we also wanted to create fairness and take away maybe some fears of, I don't want to go first because I don't want to give out my plans, my visions. And so the idea is that we would do an office at a time and then release those episodes, those candidates' episodes at one time. For example, let's say jailer, there's 3 candidates, I think, for jailer. Mm-hmm. And so we will record. And so we're going to try to schedule those really close, right? Because we don't want to, say, do one in the middle of February and then do the 3rd candidate in April, because there'll be a lot changed by then. Mm-hmm. And so our goal is to get those candidates in the same office interviewed as close together as we possibly can. And then we will release each candidate's episode individually at the same time. So to clarify, there's 3 jailer candidates. We'll record each of those. And then when we're done, we'll release each of the 3 episodes, same day, same time.
Yeah. It just prevents somebody from listening to, like if Dave and I were running for an office, listen to David's podcast or David's episode, and then I hear all of his answers and I can come up with something better. That's all it's designed to do, is give everybody a fair shot. It doesn't matter if you go first or last, because they're not going to be released. And only the candidate's coming with one person, and they're not allowed to audio, video it, or anything like that. They can take pictures, but we're not going to have them record it. And so, it's just them, and that's it. So,
yeah. So we've said you can bring one guest with you. Each candidate can bring a guest. And let me back up and say this while I've got it on my mind. Stacy and I look at this to say, we're not taking this lightly. This is very serious. One, we recognize that as a candidate, you're putting yourself out there. And that's amazing. Congratulations for doing that. But we also know this is a major part of your life. And I hope, I believe that each of these candidates are taking this election seriously. And so because of that, we're showing that respect too, to say, then we want to make sure the shows are fair and they support you and they allow you to do what you need to do, because this is a big moment of your life. And our job is to promote that big moment of your life. And so because of that, it caused us to put some basic ground rules in place so that we can hopefully have parity across each of the candidates. And so we've talked about how we're going to release it. Stacy just brought up the one guest. And so we've said, you can bring a guest with you. It'll be a non-speaking guest. But, your guest, let's just say you have chief of staff, for lack of a better term. I don't know anybody has a chief of staff here, but let's use that title.
Maybe that's my title for you. Is your chief of staff?
Chief of staff. That way, there may be some data or some research that you want to look up. We're going to be in conversation, but we thought, well, it's fair to have somebody with you to be able to look at some things and maybe, give you some data, whatever you need to get through the interview. And then at the same time, we hope you enjoy your experience and, maybe take some pictures or whatever else that you want to do to promote your time for your candidacy. So what we didn't want is a collective of people that's just hard to control and hard to manage. And so in order to make it fair, we said, then let's just allow people to have a non-speaking guest. They can be here at the show, and then, we'll talk to the candidates. We also said, so the next rule I think we had was our goal is to ask each candidate of the same office very similar questions. So that's going to come from the survey results. And that's our goal, right? Is to make each interview
consistent.
That's probably the best word to say.
Consistent.
Yeah. Now our show is conversational, and who knows where the conversation will go to. And, but you've had, I think, people ask, is it a rapid fire Q&A session? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, they were kind of worried they were going to be put on the hot seat. I'm like, no. You get your time, you get an hour. So if you want to talk for 40 minutes about yourself and then let's answer 10 questions and you go home, great. If you don't, the conversation is based around the survey, but they have their open mic to talk about whatever they want and close however they want. It's just, we're just there to kind of facilitate, hey, these are what the voters are kind of worried about. Let's address those. And that's it.
Yeah.
It's simple.
So it's not a debate.
No.
It's not it's not meant to be challenging and trick people. It's just a conversation. So our goal is to allow them the opportunity to have discussion. And as our questions will be similar for each candidate, we also know the discussions may vary just a little bit. And so, as Stacy just said, our plan is another rule that we had is you'll have a few minutes up front to introduce yourself and whatever you want to tell the audience about yourself. And then we also thought it fair to allow the candidates to close with their closing message. So, yeah. What else we want to put out there about?
That's probably about it.
Our plan for this.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
We figured after the primary, we may narrow it down a little bit more, later down. But right now, we just wanted to get to know the candidates. There's people that, we just don't know them. And, it's easy when you've lived here a long time, everybody kind of seems to know people, but times change and, different people come and go. And we just want to know what we're getting into before the election. So,
well, that's right. It's easy to say I've known this person for however long, and this is what I think, their vision is, but anymore, I don't know if that's accurate or not. And we thought, let's just give this a shot and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
So that's our plan for it. We should have a good time with it. We would just encourage you to, again, please take and share the survey. Again, that data is not being tracked. It's just being used to let,
to make a graph.
Yeah. To let the voters know what's important in the community and to let the candidates know, maybe more importantly, what's on our voters' minds. Yeah. And so you'll find that on our website, dpjconsulting.com. You'll see a tab there to take you to the survey. Click the link and you'll roll right through it. It's pretty intuitive. But you also find the link in the bottom of the show notes here. So,
we plan on posting the results the week of February 15th. And then coming up the week of Valentine's Day, we are going to have another couple on that have written a wonderful book. Let's see. I'm going to have
The Long Road Home, right?
No, The Long Flight Home.
Long Flight Home.
Yeah, Long Flight Home. And it's a wonderful love story. I had the privilege of actually learning this firsthand several years ago when caring for one of the two parties as a patient. So it's a wonderful story. We're going to have them in the studio to talk about it. Their books are available on Joseph Beth and Amazon. I recommend that you pick up a copy and read it because it's just a good, warm felt, fuzzy, good love story for Valentine's Day. So that'll be coming up soon. We got postponed a little bit because of the snowstorm this weekend, or we would have been doing that today. So anyway,
good stuff coming up. As we always say, we appreciate every like, share, listen, and download. We appreciate your cooperation and help with us for the survey and for the candidates coming in. So with that, thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Stay warm.